Man, what's going on, y'all, man? This is going to be a very exciting video to make, especially considering the fact that I didn't even plan it. The opportunity just presented itself, so I struck. And as you guys saw from the title, it's an entire gaming setup strictly off of Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and Jawah, all these like used markets always have a good deal going on. The thing is, you just have to continuously check it. Now, I said this in a few other videos, but I'm just going to reiterate it. I flip and sell PCs on the side, so I'm constantly checking like marketplaces, used marketplaces to get parts. And I found this entire setup, so I figured, why not make a video on it? Let me show y'all what I got. Now I'm editing that video and I completely forgot to mention how much everything costs, which is so crazy. So the entire cost for the mouse, the keyboard, the mic, and the PC itself was $340. So yeah, 340 bucks for everything is such a crazy deal. So let's get back to the video. Now before we get into the PC itself, I want to show you all the peripherals I got. So with everything being stated, let's get into it. So the first thing I got is this keyboard. I don't know how much y'all can see on camera, but it is so gross. The keyboard is an RK81. It goes for around 40 to 50 bucks on Amazon. Now for the price point of $40 to $50, it's not the best keyboard, but it's mechanical and it's hot swappable, so it'll get the job done for those on a budget. However, there are a lot better keyboards out there for 40 bucks. So this is the first peripheral. Let me show you the second thing I got. The next thing I got is this Fifine microphone. Now it's really ironic because this mic I used is actually a Fifine. Fifine is one of the best like budget microphones out there, so this is cool. Only thing is it didn't come with the pop filter, but that can easily be bought on Amazon, or you could just put a sock over it. Now while I'm speaking on peripherals, I'm going to show y'all a sound test for the keyboard and a sound test for this microphone, but let me show y'all the last peripheral before I finally show y'all that PC. Now the last thing of the peripherals I got is this Logitech G305 mouse. This guy was clearly going for like a white aesthetic. Now these are pretty decent budget parts, especially considering, like I said, the $340, and it came with the microphone, keyboard, and mouse, and the computer itself. So let's get these peripherals cleaned, then I'm going to finally show you the big product. Look how disgusting this keyboard is. I don't know if you guys can fully see it. This spacebar is gross. You can see each key has like hair and like a yellow stain. So we're going to remove all the keys and we're going to get it actually cleaned. Now I got all the keys out, and I'm not going to lie, this might be the most disgusting keyboard I've ever seen. I don't think this owner has ever opened it up and cleaned it. Is that a nail? Half of these keys were sticky, and I don't know if you guys can see, but they have like yellow mildew on it. I don't exactly know what it is. I'm actually going to remove the switches to get this cleaned. So I removed the switches, and even the switches are like weird and sticky. I should definitely have worn gloves because I feel like I'm going to get a disease. But yeah, the keyboard is looking absolutely disgusting. You can kind of see the moisture that's coming off of it. It's like someone spilled coffee on this or something. So the first thing I want to do when I'm cleaning this keyboard is put this to the side, and I want to get a bucket. Ooh, I'm not going to touch that. Not a bucket, a bowl. I want to get a bowl of water, soap, and a bit of 99% alcohol and soak these in there for a while, then take them out and brush them. Okay, so we got our Tupperware of water here, and I just want to show a quick before and after of the water. So this is like some clear water with some soap in it. I'm going to put the keys in here and let them soak, and it's literally going to be black in around 10 minutes. So let's get them in here. I can literally feel my hand getting sticky. Now we got our keys in here, and we're gonna let these soak, but don't let them soak for too long because on cheaper plastics and paint, it actually starts to fade, like the colors and the lettering. So we're just gonna leave it in there for a few minutes. Now it's time to handle the keyboard itself. Oh my god, something just fell on my desk. Now this is super gross, so I definitely want to start by just kind of dumping everything in the trash can. There's so much coming out and you guys can't even see it. What is that hanging? Oh my god. I have this tool that I use on my keyboard to just kind of like take everything out, so let's get at this for a few minutes because this is so gross. You can literally see how much stuff is coming off of this keyboard. So we got a lot of the physical stuff off this keyboard. Now it's still completely disgusting, but in terms of like crumbs and dust, it's pretty clean. So now we're gonna take some alcohol and a paper towel and actually clean like the inside ridges of this. Bro, I have like no alcohol left, so we're really gonna have to make do with this. There's no reason when you clean a keyboard, it should be the color of shit. So I cleaned the keyboard as best as I could without removing everything. And I think I did a pretty decent job. There's still some stains to it. I don't exactly know why. I think maybe he spilled something or whatever. But I think it's looking definitely a lot cleaner than it was. This was such a handful. Now I'm going to start putting these switches back in. But before I do that, they're not entirely the cleanest. They're not super dirty, but as you guys can see, it has some of that yellow stuff on it. You don't want to get any alcohol or anything on this because it has these pins that activate. So I'm going to take a little paper towel and wipe each switch down on the sides while I put them back in. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll see you guys when I'm done. I don't understand how this guy got so much gunk in his switch. It's underneath the keycap. Yo, this is literally going to turn into like a keyboard cleaning video. Yeah, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but on each switch, they have like a coffee stain and they're sticky. Now the next step is to go to the bathroom and actually like rinse these out, and the keyboard's looking clean. Hopefully these are clean. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that water is literally black and so murky, it's disgusting. Okay, so the keyboard is finally clean. It's back to its white and gray color. The frame is clean. Everything is nice and solid looking. Now here's the Logitech G305 mouse. Now I did wipe it down, so it's looking very clean. And here's this Fifine microphone. So let me give you guys a sound test and then we'll get into the computer itself. So firstly, the keyboard. I cleaned that keyboard. I showed y'all a sound test. I think it sounds really, really good. I like the soft sound of it. Now, the last thing before getting into the PC is testing how this sounds, because I actually have no idea. So this is the sound of the microphone. I have no idea how it sounds, so I'm kind of excited to like watch the footage and hear it back. But yeah, so whether it's good or bad, I'm sorry. If it sounds good, then okay. So yeah, now that we talked about all the peripherals, the microphone, the mouse, and the keyboard, let's actually talk about the PC itself. So here is the star of the entire deal. So yeah, okay, so it has a 1660 Super, it has a 9th Gen i5, 16 gigs of DDR4, 500 watt power supply, 500 terabyte, a 500 gigabyte SSD. It has a mini air cooler and then an ASRock motherboard. I'm not exactly sure which brand. Now it's definitely not the best computer, but on 1080p from medium to high settings, it's really not that bad. For your competitive games like Fortnite, Valorant, CSGO, it's gonna crush those. For the sake of today's test, we're gonna be testing it on that monitor, which is a 1440p 27-inch monitor. This is gonna be a little bit more stressful, but that's okay. I just want to put this to the test and see how it runs. Now let's fire it up, get some games installed, and let's see how it performs. Now, Fortnite is still one of the most popular games ever, and everybody wants a computer to play it, so we're going to go ahead and obviously test it. We're going to be playing in 1440p, not 1080, so it is going to be a little bit harder on the hardware in the computer, but we're going to be playing on performance mode, low settings, just to optimize performance as much as we can. Now, this is a bundle, so we are going to be using the keyboard and the mouse, and let's just see how everything works together in unison. Hopefully, it's going to be good, and let's see what we got going on. Okay, so we're in creative here in Fortnite, and we have a stable 165 frames on 1440p, which is crazy. Now it's holding 165 frames very, very well. It's literally stable and it hasn't dropped at all. Especially for it being on 1440p with an older hardware, this is very impressive. Now let's test a game that's a bit harder to run, but it's still pretty easy. So here we're on Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Now this game still doesn't take like a crazy amount to run like a AAA title game. It's still an esport title, but it still takes more on your hardware than Fortnite does. Now here in our graphics settings, we're going to be running very high. Now remember, like I said earlier, it is 1440p, so it's more intensive than it would be on a 1080. But let's go ahead and get this benchmark. So here are the results of the benchmarks. We got an average FPS 136, which like I said, we're on 1440p on high settings. So for a 9th Gen i5 and a 1660 Super, this is really, really well. I can only imagine how much better it would be on 1080p on even lower graphics if you care about the performance. Now, before we come to a conclusive ending, I just want to run a few more stress tests and do a little bit more things off camera. But yeah, if there's one thing to take away from this video, it's please, please, please check your used markets. Now for $340, I believe this would be a pretty good deal. It crushed my 1440p gaming in the games that I actually play, has a good keyboard, a good mouse, and a good mic. If you guys are looking to get into PC gaming, the used market is the best place to start. I kept using the PC off camera, I stress tested it, I benchmarked it, and it ran perfectly fine. There's literally no complaints to have with the computer other than the case itself. Now, my biggest complaint is if you guys are selling something, whether it's technology related or not, please clean whatever you guys are selling. It just makes it a lot easier for people on both sides. First video on this channel, I actually did a review of the Ala F75 Pro. Now this actually had a way better feel when it came to gaming, but the Ala itself had a better feel when it came to typing, like as the typing experience. The mouse felt a little cheap. It is $30, but there are better mouses out there for $30 that you can get. And the mic was pretty good quality from what you guys heard. It's pretty good. Maybe I'll start using it for the video. But yeah, so I got everything for $340. Everything was super smooth, so I'm really glad everything went the way it did. Please check out used markets, and I'll see y'all next week, hopefully.